The moon affects our emotional nature. It affects an area that's very important for black males particularly to understand during this period. It affects the unconscious level of our psyches, of the subconscious, where the dark levels and layers of thought rest dormant. That's what this planet activates in the danger field. It also activates, of course, dreams, our passions. And when you say passions, you don't just mean romance, you also mean anger and aggression. You also mean fear, hatred. The moon activates those. One of the big indicators of that is the fact that during the full moon cycle, which only lasts 2.5 days, if you're living in the inner city, you hear the result of the moon. The sirens go off like door buzzers. The police is chasing somebody every 5 minutes. That's the kind of energy response we tend to get in our world. Moodiness, uncalled for anger and despondency is also another problem. That doesn't mean the moon is negative. That means the person who responds that way is on that kind of emotional slant, and all something doing, the energy of the moon is doing is punching the buttons. So if you keep your spiritual consciousness, emotional level up, then you get a benevolent feeling from the moon. You get a harmonious feeling from the moon. You get a smoother feeling from the moon. Women during their cycle get ate up by the moon with their PMS stuff, you know. And what the yogis are saying is that because their blood is charged with too much physical flush, big meat eaters, when women who become vegetarians clear most of the fatty substances out of their blood, they only spot a little bit for a day or two and then it's over. You know, the average American, particularly female, eats probably a cow a week. You know, with the hamburgers, and the Burger Kings, and the McDonald's, man. You know, of course, half that stuff is something else. We're eating too much meat, and we're not in the era of lusting after the flesh. Okay, that isn't where we are. But we've learned how to eat meat. You know, most folks feel like they're starving to death and got a big old ham hock on the stove or on the plate. They feel like they ain't had no dinner, you know. That's training. It's been handed forward, handed forward, handed forward. Okay, I didn't intend to dwell on it too much, but sustainer of life, the maintenance of things is maintained by your emotional pool. If your emotions are erratic, you're going to find yourself moving. Getting a job, quitting a job. Moving here, moving out. Getting a sister, quitting a sister. Okay? If your emotions are like that, that's what you're going to be doing. If you wonder why. That doesn't mean you're consciously doing it. You're being stimulated by the energy that causes moving. Motion, activity, activated. You know, if you don't have plans, perspectives in your consciousness, in your subconsciousness, then you're going to be batted around like a hockey puck. You know, and we see it every day. We see brothers sitting around on steps and laying on the ground, you know. When they get enough sleep, then they wake up and they walk from there to the next place and sit down, you know. Those are pawns. You know, those are not even conscious human beings, you know. When you wake up here, your inner voice tells you, go over to see so-and-so and tell him what you need. I mean, it can begin there. Brother, I need a job. Oh, man, that dude just called me about a job. You know, poverty's over for that brother who just for a second took his own inner advice. And his world changes from 1 hour to the next. You see? That's consciousness. That's self-awareness. Okay? And it's important to know so you don't feel like God and the universe and everybody's against you when you go in one of them dips. Because you're going into some dips, because that's the roller coaster ride we're all on. Ain't nobody going straight up. Okay, well, we're on a roller coaster. And you got to have something to go down with, so you want to come back up. You know, everybody gets challenged. Okay, the universe requires that you pay taxes for having that body. Okay, and you're going to pay them. You know, no matter how intelligent you think you are, how good you think you are, you're going to pay some taxes, some dues down here, because that's where you are. Okay? We're between the law of duality.